Good evening, I hope everyone's well today. Thank you for watching, it is appreciated as always. Now if you find value in this video, give me a like and subscribe, comment below, share the video, do all that good stuff. We've got a bit of a conundrum in the United Kingdom, and it's to do with trespass law and how it works in actual cases. We've had an MP and he had a trespass on his property recently. This is James McMurdoch, former Reform UK MP. I think that's performative, by the way, because he's still very, very pro Reform UK on social media. So we'll see what comes of that. But before we get into that, housekeeping as always, we've had another Reform UK victory recently in councils. This was to Paul Sultan, who's been elected to East Lindsey District Council. Reform gained this seat yesterday from the Tories with a record 65.8% of the vote. So well done to Paul Sultan that is. I'm sure you'll do good things down there, so well done for that. So this is the nub of the situation. James McMurdoch, as I say, posted this on his socials last night. Let's play that again. Look at the bloody smug look on his face as well. Obviously another cultural enricher. We'll get into the nub of the argument now. This is what James posted on his socials. Tonight a Amazon delivery driver let himself into my home. It was lucky that I was home in the right place to confront him immediately. This shocked me, and the question keeps coming back to me is this: what if my wife or teenage daughter had been standing in my place? The footage is clear. The driver approaches the door, breathing heavily. He checks the handle, then pushes his way inside. I don't know what his intentions were, and that's exactly the point. I contacted the police, and their exact words were, "Trespass is a civil matter, there is nothing we can do." A senior officer confirmed it, and so he's, let's be absolutely honest with the public, under the current law, if a stranger walks into your home, the police may not come or attend. Well, I exhibit no surprise to this. I believe statistics prove, I think, 90% of burglaries in England and Wales, this is, I think, beginning of 2024, go unsolved, and they don't usually attend. Then he goes on to say this: At a time when delivery companies are hiring thousands of temporary drivers, who is turning up at our doors? What is the risk our families being exposed to? And more crucially, what message does this legal loophole send to someone with bad intentions? Try your luck. If the homeowner scares you off, just walk away. The police will not pursue you. Try again. This is utterly unacceptable. He's going to raise this in Parliament. He will not wait and risk someone being harmed before action is taken. If the law fails to protect people in their own homes, then the law must change. Completely agree. Completely agree with that. Now comment, like and subscribe if you think he's got a point. Let me know if you think he's overreacting, and you let me know if you think he's got a point, because I certainly do. Then we go on to this. This is the actual law that we're referring to here. This is the legal context in England and Wales, with minor variations in Scotland and Northern Ireland. A simple trespass, entering someone's property without permission, is not a criminal offence. It is a civil tort. You can ask the person to leave, and if needed, sue them in a civil court for any damages. Typically, police will not arrest or intervene unless there's more to it, i.e. if they actually commit a crime. When we say crime, maybe if they assaulted someone at the property, maybe if there was property damage, theft, but as previously disclosed, 90% of burglaries in England and Wales go unsolved, alright? It can become a criminal if it's aggravated trespass, i.e. with intent to disrupt or intimidate. If the person enters as a trespasser with intent to commit a crime, i.e. burglary under Section 9 of the Theft Act 1968. They refuse to leave when asked, possible offence under certain circumstances, like the trespass with intent to reside. If there's violence, damage, another offence involved. In this case, delivery driver or similar incidents, the police often classify it as civil because there was no evidence of that criminal intent beyond the unauthorised entry itself, and therefore people must find it alarming and invasive, even if they do, that is. That has to change. It should be like America. You should have the right to defend yourself with lethal force if you feel threatened. You may think I'm overstating things. Obviously, in this case, it was a delivery driver. We can't always assume that delivery drivers have pure intentions. What we're going to do, and as I say, you can call the police, wait till Tuesday if they choose to turn up. A man's home, a woman's home is their castle. That should be the imperative, and it should be like in the United States. Ask no questions if it's your property. Maybe have a sign up saying that we will lethally defend ourselves if needed, give fair notice. Nothing against that. Let me go on to this. This is Amazon's policy. This was an Amazon driver, alright? So entering a customer's property without explicit permission is clearly against Amazon's own policies in the UK and globally. Amazon official delivery guidelines for drivers and third-party driver partners, Amazon Flex, Amazon Logistics, DPD, DSP, etc. Drivers must never enter a customer's home unless the customer specifically requested and authorised it, i.e. for disability-related accommodation or pre-arranged in-home delivery, which is extremely rare in the United Kingdom. Standard procedure: ring the bell, knock, wait reasonable time. If safe drop authorised and possible, then leave the parcel designated place or porch. If not, take a photo and return the parcel and leave the calling car. Try door handle and pushing the door open is explicitly forbidden. So there we have it. The law needs to change, and what I'm going to do now is I'm going to play a quick clip. This is from James McMurdoch. He was on GB News earlier on today, and he had a few choice words about the incident, so I'm going to play that clip now.
Is the quick and short answer to that. Thank you very much for having me on your show this morning. It's frightening. What you do not expect to see bursting through your front door is a grown man that you've never seen before. I had 3 of my young children on the living room floor, just feet behind me, and if I'd have been somewhere else, who knows really what the next actions would have been.
The situation is, James is right, we don't know the person's intentions. Why are they letting themselves into any property? People have said on social media that, well, why isn't his front door locked? That's besides the point. That really is besides the point. Alright? Especially in the United Kingdom, we used to be a high trust society. Why do we have to pretend that this is acceptable? This isn't victim blaming here, alright? This man is clearly in the wrong. Alright?
So deeply frightening, and certainly something that needs looking at from my position as a parliamentarian and how we can improve things for the whole country.
Yeah, James, many people will be asking about your security arrangements here because you are a member of Parliament, and the ability for someone just to be able to barge in your front door like this should be very worrying. Are you speaking to parliamentary authorities about this too?
Yeah, so I do want to be slightly cautious with what I say here. I do have some extremely effective deterrents in place, and I do have a lot of security. The trouble with a lot of those things is they are almost sort of the nuclear option, and what I had here was a man, frankly, completely surprised me. It's very fortunate that I was in absolutely the right place at absolutely the right time, and I, by my presence, managed to get him out of my home very quickly. Now, I could have used some of those measures, which would have brought a lot of police to me immediately, but because I was able to get the door closed and lock it, I was able to take a few minutes to decide whether that was fully appropriate. Obviously, I rang 999. Obviously, I explained the situation to them. But I think what's really exacerbated this and forced me to look at this from a more strategic position in terms of how we deal with this for everyone in the country is their response. And I will stress, I'm not someone who takes any pleasure from bad-mouthing our frontline services. These guys really do some heroic work. But I think the response yesterday was somewhat lacking. There's a grown man has entered someone's home. Now, there is a lot of legality around intent.
Here's the thing, the police are reluctant to act until a crime is committed. By that point, it's too late. This is the loophole, this is the issue with the law, alright? Delivery drivers, on the whole, they could be nice people. There are always exceptions to the rule. We've had incidents in Wales, in Scotland, and up in Preston, up in the north, up in my patch as well. This is unacceptable, and this needs to change.
And that is probably the crucial point that the police would focus on. But of course, they're just making assumptions, and that's really where this falls down. We've got a member of parliament, a grown man has stormed into his house.
If you assume you make an ass out of you and me, I always used to be told that. See what I did there?
And their answer was, oh, it's a civil matter, no. And I was so shocked by that that I actually dialed 999 again a few minutes later to double check that they understood what was being said.
So we'll leave that one there. I think James has a point. He's completely correct. And this needs to change. As always, like and subscribe and comment. We'll leave this here. So let me know, do you think James is overreacting? Do you think I'm overstating things? Should trespass be a civil matter? Should it be a criminal matter? Should burglary be the course of the day? Obviously, the statistics in England and Wales wouldn't make much of a difference if it was burglary, because they don't investigate burglaries anyway. As I say, all comments are valid, all opinions are valid, and like and subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next video.